Well. Happy Monday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Welcome back to Sin City Crypto Live. My name is David. I'll be one of your co-hosts. And today, like every single weekday, we're coming at you live from our studio with our daily live show. We have a fun show for you today. We're talking about Binance leaving the country of Canada. We have some news regarding Ethereum. We have some news regarding Cardano. We have some news regarding central banks. But before we get into all that news, I'd like to share news that you have another co-host, and his name is Robin.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take that old, boring, and stale information and we repackage that thing up in a fun and sexy way.
What is that dumb laugh?
Yeah, that's right. I'm excited.
That's the laugh from Fast and Furious, Tyrone.
That's the laugh of hell.
I'm going to Miami. That's what it is, man. You know, I am gonna be. I'm getting a little lighter in the skin here, so a little sun, maybe some coconut oil on the skin. Look good.
You know who won't be in Miami? Because they're busy sponsoring the show is Cam's Blue Wire Technology. This show and every show this week will be brought to you by Cam's Blue Wire Tech. They provide your business with scalable IT solutions so you can focus on new revenue streams for your business. If you want more information, visit bluewiretech.com or click the link in the description of this video. Now,
David, did you know that Bitcoin rallied?
Wow, no way.
From 26.8 to 27.5.
My God.
Remember what I've been preaching all last week? We will break 30K. This week, I'm telling you, it's coming.
Oh, no, we've dumped every time we've gone to Bitcoin Miami. That's what I'm saying. Bitcoin Miami is a top signal of this bull run. But before we get into any real crypto news, we have to share some non-crypto news. And so it's pretty simple. The country of Madagascar. Well, we have certain variations here. We have Madagascar, and then we have Gladagaskar, Sadagaskar, we have Not a Gas Car, and then finally, Mad at Gascar. That was pretty
funny. I'm sorry, but that's pretty bad.
Rocco, I'm gonna punch you one of these days. You know that, right? Literally, I'm gonna lean over and I'm just gonna throw a water bottle at your head. So here's a meme here. I'm leaving you. You're addicted to gambling, and he says, "I bet I can win you back." And then this one, Italians, they're going to lose it when they see this. So let's see.
Okay, I
can
wait.
All of our angel hair into the blender. Just crack it up, pop on our lid, turn it on. Right onto our counter. Take your Nona spoon and you want to make a little hole, like a little bird's nest.
You're muted, by the way.
To the middle. Break this egg up with our hands. We are making fresh pasta out of pasta.
Believe it or not, that was your best friend Robin who put this video on here.
And start rolling. Let's make
what is that? You're muted, by the way. You should turn your audio
pretty
on.
Good. And we've got our nice new fresh
Are those tendies
pasta
or what?
noodles. Why would you eat this when you can eat this? So let's carefully drop
Okay, let me explain why you should change profession at all.
They're perfectly cooked by how heavy they are. Nice and chunky, just the way I like it. Can't disrespect our pasta. We need to add some Parmesan cheese. Cheers.
Cheers, wow.
Okay, where is the part when she dies?
So fluffy. This is amazing.
Wow.
Come on,
wow, this
really?
tweet was not wrong. Italians going to lose it when they see this.
Come on, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna throw you a butter bottle.
Yeah.
It looked filling.
Oh my God!
He said, "Where's the part where she dies?" Wow. So you took it from 0 to 100 real quick there, Rocco. It's just pasta. Calm down, buddy. It's okay. And then
you don't do that to pasta. I'm sorry. You can do anything else you want.
On the more serious news, Argentina's central bank hikes their interest rates to 97%. So stop complaining about 5% interest rates, right? Then we have this. So according to reports, Lebanon's central bank refuses to release money to depositors, causing riots in Beirut. So this is what's happening over there. People are getting fed up with the traditional money system. and it being controlled and manipulated by governments. And so people are starting to lash out, man. And can't really blame him. Can't really blame him. Which leads me to this. Paul Tudor Jones, one of the most well-respected, well-known investors in American history. He was on CNBC and he spoke about Bitcoin, and here's what he had to say.
Bitcoin. You came on our air during the early part of the pandemic. I think it was trading at $8,000-$9,000 a coin. And you said, I'm in. And I think you rode it all the way up to 60 some odd $1,000. And we then rode it back down to $15,000, and we're now sitting, I think, somewhere around $27,000.
I've never sat on a horse that long, just so you know.
So what's the, you're still on the horse though?
I, from the beginning, I've always said I want to have a small allocation to it because it's a great tail event. It's the only thing that humans can adjust the supply in. So I'm sticking with it. I'm going to always stick with it as just a small diversification in my portfolio. What do I think right now? I liked it last December. I still think I mean...
Would you buy more right now?
Would I buy more? I would probably... I look at it in gold, and I think they've done so well recently because of the fact that we have had these great risk premiums. I wonder whether they may not be boring in the future. Also, Bitcoin has a real problem because in the United States, you have the entire regulatory apparatus against it. So it's just kind of yesterday's news. And if inflation's truly done a bit, if that story's been played, then you have to wonder. We were buying gold and Bitcoin for the inflation hedges. That game may be over. I would 6 months ago, before AI, before the possible productivity boost that we'll get for it, I would have said a completely different story with regard to the inflationary future and with regard to all the inflation hedges.
This guy is a world-renowned investor, okay? And the comment he made, Bitcoin is the only thing that humans can't control the supply of. I know.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Mr. Tudor Jones there?
I mean, he didn't say anything I've never heard before, but he's definitely said some things that people in his circles never heard before, right? And so, well, we echo here all the time and what we are accustomed to hearing, I'm sure his buddies at the country club, the golf course, or around the corporate tables that he sits at, they probably are new to this idea, right? We get so used to talking about it amongst ourselves. You know how it is when we get to somebody that's not in our circle, and they're like, "Well, I don't understand." Remember we had a girl we were talking to the other day. She was like, I don't understand Bitcoin." What did I tell her? I said, "Do you understand how money works?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, another form of it, and it's a little bit more efficient." And like, you understand that you've lost purchasing power, right? Like, what do you mean? I'm like, things are more expensive now, right? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, do you make a lot more money? No. Okay, you lost purchasing power. And so, if you understand how money works, if you understand how a dollar works, if you understand how fiat works, if you understand how a checking account works, why not take the time to understand what the alternative is? Because it's here. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's sitting here saying that outside of a handful of people who I think are beating this narrative drum, nobody out here is saying Bitcoin's going to disappear. Realistically, they're not. The numbers, people understand, like, the real conversation when you talk to people that aren't in Bitcoin is, what is it selling for now? It was 60,000, right? It's 17. Thing is people don't think that it's going to go away. They know it's here. And a lot of conversations end up being, well, I wish I had bought it then. I thought, I could have bought it, whatever. Like, that it's going away narrative is not here anymore. And not to say it's 100% gone, but realistically, that's not the narrative. So if it's here to stay, learn about it.
People are lazy. But if we get more people like Paul Tudor Jones, who, what people like to do is instead of putting the work in themselves and learning and studying and, doing deep dives into certain things, they like to just listen to their favorite people, favorite investors, whether it's Warren Buffett or Paul Tudor Jones or Robert Kiyosaki or Dave Ramsey. They'd rather just let them do all the work and research and just mimic what they do.
When things blow up, when you hit rock bottom and you have a catastrophic event, it forces you to look at the alternatives, right? Sometimes you don't quit drinking until you are at a very dark place. Sometimes you don't quit doing some other vices. And a lot of this just happens that if moderation, if it's not like destroying your life, it's something that you're like, oh, okay, it is what it is. But you demand change when you reach certain pivotal moments. And that's why Bitcoin was created in the first place, because people were demanding change from the banking system. And so what we're seeing now with the banking system being as fragile as it is that there are some high profile people that are going to be rocked to the core. And think about this. If you are one of these big corporate investors, you got a hedge fund, whatever it is, and you're invested in bank stocks, which are just been obliterated. Do you think you're still having that same conversation where like, well, I can't trust Bitcoin. The price is dumped. What was it, 60,000 before, right? Now, where is it, 27? You're not going to have that same conversation when your bank stocks that you purchased are down 90%, right? And these moments that are coming, because the financial landscape is changing quick, and people are losing their money like this. And as these big investors see the calamity in front of them and they get hit hard, they're looking at alternatives. And if their buddy, their corporate well-respected investor, if he's protected, if someone else loses all their fortune and like, well, I still got my Bitcoin, it's gonna be watch out.
Didn't say clams?
Clams, yeah.
I
Love mussels.
if
You had to choose mussels or clams?
mussels.
Clams, yeah.
Clams?
Man.
Every restaurant we've went to, you've ordered mussels.
It's because they didn't have clams on them.
I did order mussel. When?
Not you, Robin.
No, when last time me and David took a trip.
Everywhere we went, we got mussels.
Because nowhere we went had clams. Just saying.
So many things are running through my mind right now. Now, I want to ask you a question, Robin. When our government starts saying things like inflation is transitory or soft landing or the economy's fine, do we just at face value just like, yeah, they said everything's fine? Or are we a little skeptical? Maybe pushing us to do some more digging, maybe some more research.
Sure. My personal, the whole system, the fiat system is so broke. It's so broken. It's so leveraged. There's so much potential for failure. This thing could collapse at any point in time, right?
Reason I'm asking,
and we're teetering. And so for me, I look at it like, oh my God, this whole thing's gonna burn down one day.
So we know Silicon Valley Bank burned and went under, and apparently they're pointing the finger at the Fed. So here's a tweet. This is from Brian Chung. Former Silicon Valley Bank CEO Greg Becker is pinning the bank's decision to go long on the securities book to the Fed's posturing on transitory inflation. This is from their actual filing here. Importantly, throughout 2020 until late 2021, the messaging from the Federal Reserve was that interest rates would remain low and that the inflation that was starting to bubble up would only be transitory. Throughout 2021, the Federal Reserve described inflation as a transitory risk, suggesting that interest rates would not increase significantly in the short term.
Okay, and so if you're a bank, just real quick, if you're a bank and interest rates are at zero, the Fed is printing money and injecting capital at a rate we've never seen before. And they're literally just giving the banks just stacks of cash, right? Digitally. If you're a bank and you're just receiving money, right? And at one instance, they're like, well, it's going to be for these loan PPEs. It's going to be for this. So, you know, the banks were the ones that were doing those applications. So they needed to keep that money on hand. And so they were just handed trillions of dollars, you know, if you add up all the banks. And what were they supposed to do with that? And you're not going to put it in the stock market. That's illegal, right? And
the whole idea is to lend.
Yeah, but and so in a perfect world, you would have it where, yay, the government gives you millions, billions, trillions of dollars, and what you do is just keep it on hand, and then you inject it into the markets. But the banks were like, hey, this is a very interesting situation. We're in uncertain times. COVID, the banks weren't lending. They were giving out the mortgages because the housing market was on fire, but they weren't like lending. And so the money was just staying in the banks, and they were incentivized to put it back into treasuries. And that's what they did. You borrow at 0%, and then you're like, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't know. There's not enough people that need it. We're not handing it out. So we're going to lock it up into treasuries. And that's where we got into our issue. And so you borrow at 0, and then you make money off of it by giving it right back. So it's just this little loop. Give me $1 billion. I'll take $1 billion out on a treasury
Called
note.
the flywheel scheme.
Yeah.
That's what Celsius went under for.
This whole thing is a scheme. That's what I'm saying. It's like, if I gave you, if you didn't ask for it, David, I gave you $1 million.
Yes.
And I was like, hey, you're going to need this if I'm going to need to return some of this at some point. So just don't lock it up in stocks. Don't lock it up in anything risky, right? But you need to hold it. Here, 0%. What are you going to do? You're going to lock it up at 2% long term. That's where we're at. And then this is all the Fed's fault, bro. 100%.
It's all the Fed's fault?
This whole thing is the Fed's fault. They incentivized borrowing. They gave money to the banks. Then they incentivized for them to put it into treasuries. Then they gave them reassurance that this is transitory. And historically speaking, we'd always been around 0 to 2% on a interest rate. So worst case scenario, we go to 2%, which is the same yield you're getting on the treasuries. And so, okay, worst case scenario, go to 2%. Whatever, it's a wash. What they didn't account for was in the span of 8 months, we go up to 5%. And then there, you're underwater on all the treasury bonds that you've been accumulating for not just throughout the pandemic, but the pandemic just ramped up. And this is the Ponzi scheme. Get out of this damn thing. And I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, man, because, you know, your boy got a overdraft on my checking fee. And I thought to myself, I'm like, man, if I had a savings account, this would happen. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. I will not get a savings account. And I realized, I'm like, you know, this is why I'm in crypto. This is why we are doing this, because I can function without the bank. I am able to function without a savings account. Here soon, I'll be able to function without a checking account as well. And at some point, I'm going to have no tie to this banking system. I've already took the first step out, and I'm just saying, man, this whole thing.
So you don't put any blame on the banks. You're saying it's all the Fed's fault? You don't think
the Fed, okay.
You don't think the banks have
I just think
people, they pay millions of dollars. Their sole job is to look at markets or study markets.
The banks are set up in a way that it is bad business practice to simply take money and hold it without any repercussion, right? And so the banks are not incentivized in any way. And if anything, they are penalized for not playing the Fed's game and locking up money into treasuries. Now, you can hypothetically operate a bank in a way that we think is just, where, hey, we're going to take deposits and we're going to hold on to our customer deposits, And if anything we lock up will be in a more of a short-term duration, but we're also going to keep X amount of liquidity for if someone needs to draw on the bank for some kind of economic situation. And here's a good example. Custodia Bank. They were doing exactly that. They were a charter bank that was trying to come out, that was trying to have real reserves and not leverage themselves. And what happened? Their application got denied. And so when you say, is it the Fed's fault? Yes. Now, are there other participants in the banks? Are there other participants that play this game? Sure. So there are other people that are there, but the root cause to all of this is the printing and the handing out of money by the Fed. And then the expectation for the banks to put money back into the government. And then if you have volatility in the interest rates, boom, the whole thing comes crashing down. And I don't know how this thing moves forward for longer than 3 or 4 months with a 5% interest rate without the whole thing collapsing. Because banks are going under just like that. And there's no sign of relief here.
I don't know. What do you guys, I'm curious. Let's get what percentage of blame do you think the Fed deserves? Put a number in there. What percentage? I would say it's 50-50. 50% Fed, 50% the banks. I just find it hard to believe that these multi-billion-dollar banks who hold some trillions of dollars in customer assets don't have people that their sole specific job is to look at market trends and what's happening with inflation and the economy. And they at any point they could have decided to hedge their interest rate risk, and they chose not to.
The thing is, you can't hedge that much. And you know, I think it was Balaji was talking. He's like the banks could hedge against a large move in interest rates, but the amount of money that they had locked up in these treasury bills, you can't hedge 0 to 5%. That doesn't exist. It's not even you can hedge for a 0.25 or a 0.5% move, but you can't project out a 10-year treasury bond that's down 40%. So imagine you're down, you got billions of dollars locked up in treasury bonds and a 10-year note, and it's underwater 30-40%, and you're not gonna realize that you're not to hold it to maturity is still another 8 years. There's no way you can hedge that. It's not even possible. And you can hedge, sure, but not at that. It's too far, bro.
Seen a couple. I see a 20%. I see an 80%, 60%, 200%. Warren Buffett's fault, said Nifty guy. Not bad.
And then, guys, if you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We got just a handful of new people. We got Barry, Channel, and L Proofman. Well, to all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Credit. One hit of likes, actually. Why is there? We got like 20-something% likes. What?
One hit of quitter said, keep pushing the buy Bitcoin narrative and Bitcoin's already down. Get wrecked, Moon Boys.
How about the one hit a like button?
I think one hit of quitter might be in the wrong stream. Not sure. Maybe I don't know. But maybe we'll change your mind if you continue watching. Now, let's take a look at some of the biggest events happening this week via our economic calendar compliments of TradingView. China is releasing their industrial production year over year. That is coming soon, projected at 10.9%. Retail sales are coming out here in the U.S. on May 16th, so tomorrow. And then we have Jerome Powell's giving a speech on the 19th of May. I'm trying to see where this is going to be. Not sure, but he's giving a speech. So we know more than what the Fed decides to do as far as the interest rate. People pay close attention to the words that are coming out of this man's mouth. What he decides to say, they look for a slight tone of, is it bullish? Is it bearish? Is it hawkish? Is it dovish? So that's going to be important. I would expect volatility around that time. That is on May 19th, so in 4 days. And then FOMC minutes come out on May 24th. A lot of people are expecting a pause in the June meeting. And the June meeting, the rate hike, that announcement is literally one day after the new CPI data comes in next month. So it'll be curious to see what happens. And then as far as some of the biggest happenings in crypto. So today is the V2 token drop, or the upgrade to the Gala token. So if you, I think it's too late. I think the snapshot's already been taken, or however they're doing it. But hopefully, if you've been watching the show, you've moved all of your Gala tokens off of a centralized exchange and into a self-custodial wallet. That migration is happening today. Also, Litecoin is having their block halving. Their halving event is happening in August of this year. A couple other things as I go down here. Just kind of going through. Lido's doing a V2 upgrade. That is happening today as well. Flux is getting a Flux. I've been meaning to do a little more research on Flux. They're getting a listing on Bitmart that is happening today as well. So a lot of things happening today. 15th of May. You know what? Do I have this top 100 coins? Okay. Let's see what else we got here. We got Multiverse X is doing their X Launchpad tomorrow. And that's kind of it for some of the biggest stuff. Now, Robin, let's take a look at what the crypto markets are doing.
All right. So we got Bitcoin coming in at $27,524.43. And as I mentioned, you can see on the weekly, we are coming out of this lows that we were at 26.3. We got just at we hit resistance at right at 26,000. And I don't know. I'm still in this narrative. I do think that just if you look back historically over the last 6 months, we did trade in these little zones for about 2 months, almost to the day, where we were in little channels. Anyways, extrapolating that out, I do think that next week we can break out to 30K. Mark my words, David.
Still, huh?
That's right. I'm going to be in Miami drinking coconut water out of a coconut and celebrating the Robstradamus prophecy.
Wow.
That's right. And just to take a look here, if you look at the 1 year chart, you can see that we're starting to get back to where we were. It was 1 year ago we were at 30K. And yeah, so all of this spill off, we're almost back there again, man. Remember, 1 year ago was this right here. This was FTX. So we're getting closer. We passed the 1 year.
It's not FTX. 1 year?
We passed the this
1 year is not FTX. 1 year was Celsius and Luna.
I mean, no, yeah. Luna already happened. So this is FTX, sorry. November. So yeah, this one right here must have been,
that was Celsius.
Yeah, Celsius and Voyager probably. Yeah. So
any new pattern?
But the Luna is going. The pattern, no.
Nothing new.
Still working on that
broken legs, camel. Western camel, broken legs, just the back legs.
The back legs on the broken camel.
There gotta be some.
Now, looking at the volume, volume's pretty down. Only $30 billion over the last 24 hours.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like a lot of people right now. What's the buzz?
Is that a Greg token?
Greg token. A Greg token. Stop.
Greg's account is hella funny on Twitter.
I wouldn't be surprised if this thing rallies. $200,000 market cap. What is going on? I wonder.
It's definitely
it's just on Uniswap.
Go to the volume. 580,000. Damn.
We are by no means.
Yeah.
We got nothing to do. Like this is just. I just saw it at the same time you guys saw it. It's been out for all of
5 hours.
All of 1 hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I wonder if he hasn't. I highly
I don't
doubt
think so.
He wouldn't have anything to do with this, right?
You guys, they have a website. You think that's
dude?
him?
Like how long?
That's
no,
not him.
It's
right?
definitely not. This website is so janky. Look at this thing.
No, I'm saying, but like him, and I had Greg, the person behind the Twitter account. Do you think that's actually him?
This photo? No, this is a classic. This is a classic meme. This is one.
Is it?
That,
okay.
Yeah, he just took that as his own.
You want me to do some fundamental analysis on Greg?
On the 1 hour chart or the
fundamental analysis. We can take a look at yeah. Okay.
Look at the team. The team is Greg Smith, Greg Doe, Greg Johnson.
That's funny though.
Wow. Guys, don't invest in
Yeah, stay away.
Don't throw your money away.
We're just giggling here. Okay.
Hey,
so.
but at least he has the picture of where is the one from SBF. He didn't have he has the picture from the guy from the back.
They put this. They put this thing together. Oh, there's a white paper. Stop.
Probably going to be 2 sentences.
Well, I'm just curious what the white paper looks like. I probably just lost all my funds in my MetaMask by clicking this. And it's gone. There.
Guys, I'm doing some analysis here on Greg here. Guys, might be a good chance to buy in, go all in on this thing. I'm kidding, of course.
Okay, so getting back into the markets on a serious note, Ethereum coming in at 1,800. So little rally from ETH as well. But the overall markets seem to be kind of flat. Lido's up 11%, Graph's up 10%, Litecoin's up 6%. What's going on with Litecoin? Are we getting closer to that having?
Yeah, I just talked about it. Literally 5 minutes ago, I talked about it. I said August.
Yeah, August.
Rob,
Rocket Pool is up as well. And some of the biggest losers. Pepe's down 9%.
Dude,
Caitlin.
Pulse Chain came out.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
The bridge apparently isn't working yet.
I haven't done any digging, but
so
I'm not going to lie. I thought that thing was never coming. I really
They
did.
forked an Ethereum.
I know, I'm just saying,
what point did it? It's not like their devs are over there trying to figure out the code. Like they were literally like, okay, when do we copy this thing? When do we hit copy paste? Like they right clicked, hit copy. I was just wondering when they were going to paste that thing. That's literally all they did. Like you spent years hyping this thing up, and what you did was you went to the code, you dragged your mouse, you started at the top, and then you went down. You're like, okay, so let's see here, scroll like this, and right click, and this is on the Ethereum mainnet, and you're like, copy.
You're such an idiot.
and then they go over. They go over here, and then they paste this thing, right? Paste. And then they go over to Twitter, and they say, mainnet is live.
Stop it.
Invest everything.
That's not.
Airdropping tokens.
That's not.
Is a new dev.
Look, but, okay, as comical as that is what happened. That is what happened. I'm just saying, as dumb as that sounds, and yes, I'm 100% sure that more was involved in that. And, they got the bridge and they're connecting it to whatever. So there had to be some real development. But don't fool yourself. At the end of the day, they did copy the Ethereum code and then use that and tweak a couple things. And if you decide to buy a McDonald's and then sell some tacos as menu item number 11, and you still got the Big Mac on there, you still copied McDonald's. Just because you got tacos on there doesn't make it a different restaurant.
I'm not going to sit here and talk about.
I will.
Because I'm not in that ecosystem. I don't know. All I know is I'll say this: Richard Hart is one of the smartest people in our space, and don't know much about Hex, but speaking of Hex,
smartest people, I don't.
Richard Hart is smart, bro. Richard Hart's a smart dude.
He's good at name calling and hyping. Robin, he draws a lot of attention.
Look, you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of someone like Andrew Tate, Donald Trump. They say things and you scratch your head. You're like, what? And then you have to listen to it a few more times.
You think
and then,
Donald Trump's smart?
Well, I'm saying he's done some things that he's done and said some things that like make sense. Some of the things he talked about before he left office are coming true. I'm not saying agree with everything he says, but what I'm saying is people overlook the message because of his name calling, his outbursts. He's out there. He's not.
His message is no token has ever outperformed his because he has 8,000% gains or 80,000% gains or whatever it is, and he's outperformed Bitcoin and Ethereum. Every top project, when you go from ICO to where it is now, has 10,000% gains, 100,000% gains. He's out here spewing nonsense, and I don't care if he comes out here, puts this damn video on Twitter, tries to bash my t-shirt or whatever the hell it is, or my chicken leg. Like, all I'm saying is that at the end of the day, dude shady.
Go listen.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I'm not talking about his character. I'm saying the guy in our space, he's a smart guy. Go listen to one of his sit-down interviews, and everything he talks about, you're like, okay. Now, I'm not saying what he did with Hex, or I'm not speaking on any of that. I'm just saying, Richard
I just
Hart,
want to know where does the Ethereum go? That's all I want to know. Where does the Ethereum go? That's all I want to know.
Now
that address, where's the Ethereum go?
That I have an issue with, the whole sacrifice thing. Anyways, we're not going to get into that. And we're not going to talk about Pulse Chain, me personally, because I don't follow it. So I don't know, but I do know it went live. So I know there's a lot of people who are in the Hex community. So share some news.
Shout out to Aid. You know, we see you in the community, man. No hate on you. No, we can have
differing. Here's the thing. Here's the beauty. We can have differing opinions, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Hex is down 3.1%. Hex saw a massive dump. After Pulse Chain came out,
it dropped 40%.
Yeah. And here, if we go take a look at the week, you'll kind of see.
It went from 5 cents,
48%.
And that 40% drop was over the course of about 2 hours, and it went from 5 cents to like 3 cents, just instantly. Yeah,
48%. This is over the last week. Over the last day, we have Lido up 11%, Graph up 10%, Radix up 7.3%. Guys, guess what I'm going to say? I'm going to say it again. Radix, Layer 1 DeFi, extremely intriguing. It's something I'm doing some more research on myself. And so I know their mainnet launch is coming soon. I'm excited about this project. And so, yeah. Now, I want to, damn it, I was going to show or say something, but I completely forgot. Oh, speaking of altcoins, our next video is dropping in the next couple of days, and I'd figure if you're here, I'd share a little snippet of it. And it's about Solana. And so the title of the video is, 3 reasons why Solana is not dead. And so I'm just going to play maybe 15 to 30 seconds, give you guys a little taste. And then if you're not subscribed and having notifications on, turn that on because this video is dropping soon. You can watch it in its entirety. So, Solana is dead. Solana is useless. Solana is nothing without FTX. These phrases in one form or another were continuously uttered by thousands of people after FTX collapsed. Fast forward 7 months and Solana is still a top 10 project by all metrics, leaving doubters with little leg to stand on. Here are the top 3 reasons why the Solana blockchain is not dead. Bam. It's going to be a good video, guys. Very good video. It's going to be huge. Make sure to check it out. Have a notification bell on so when it does come out, you know when it does. Now, Bitcoin. Take a quick look at the chart here. So this is the Bitcoin on the daily. So we talked about this head and shoulders pattern on Bitcoin. It did break below the neckline, right? I got this neckline drawn here in the yellow. But if we can close this candle above this neckline, and we can maybe close another 1 or 2 candles, then that pattern is invalidated. The head and shoulder pattern is no more, right? A pattern needs to break out. A pattern needs to go the way it should go before we can say, hey, the pattern played out, right? Something can shape up to be a head and shoulders or a bull flag or a bear flag, but until it goes the way it's supposed to go, it's not a validated pattern. So the Western camelback pattern hasn't broken out yet, and that's why we haven't talked about it. But this is kind of bullish on Bitcoin. And we can potentially see a little mini cup and handle forming here if we do start to see a descending channel here. But again, close above this price level right at 27,300. Maybe close another 1 or 2 candles above that. We're looking good. If we swap over and we put on the Ichimoku cloud, just kind of see where the trend is on the daily. So we are in an equilibrium zone. So this is a no trade zone. But a couple bearish things. The cloud is red, which is not good. And then the conversion line is below the baseline, which is also bearish. If we swap over to the weekly, take a look at it more macro. We are turning a little bullish on the weekly, even though we've had some negative price action. And this, you know what I'm seeing? It's kind of a pretty big cup and handle pattern here, guys. And if we get this little bam right here, there's your handle. So we'll see how that plays out. But again, this would be a what was I saying? Oh, this is the equilibrium zone. So this is the no trade zone. And for me, what I want to see is I want to see price break above this cloud, which right now would be about $31,684. But more importantly than breaking above the cloud is to make support on top of the cloud. So yeah, going on to the traditional markets, we're pretty flat across the board. The NASDAQ is up a little more than 0.5%. Dow is flat. S&P is flat. You know what's not flat is the Treasury Department's balance sheet. And so this is the balance sheet of the U.S. Treasury Department. And there's rumors and there's talk about they're going to run out of money early June. Well, if at the pace they're going to run out of money a lot sooner. So this is in millions, okay? So this was their opening account balance as of Thursday, May 11th, was $154 billion. Their closing balance was $143 billion, okay? And I'm not going to go over everything here, but it breaks everything down, deposits, withdrawals, what we're using the money to pay. You can find this for yourself as well if you'd like to on the Treasury website. You can download it. It has it by quarter, by day. So this whole talk about the debt ceiling, is it going to be raised? I don't have any doubt that this debt ceiling is going to be raised. This is just positioning from the Republicans and the Democrats. Republicans want to cut spending. Democrats want to increase spending. I think eventually they're going to come to an agreement. They're going to have to. Because if we don't, we're talking about a U.S. defaulting on their debt. And with everything going on and the de-dollarization happening right in front of our eyes, I think that's the last thing that would be the nail in the coffin of the U.S. being the world reserve currency, the U.S. dollar. That's my take. What is that? Do you share the same sentiment as that, Robin? If they don't raise the debt ceiling, which I don't think is I don't even think is a possibility.
Oh, it's a possibility. No, it's an unlikelihood. It's an unlikely possibility. Here's the thing: the closer we get to this thing, the further apart I realize that both the Republicans and Democrats are. And I think I have no question whatsoever that when they do raise the debt ceiling, it'll be at the stroke of midnight. There's no way they get this thing done like in a short time window. And it's going to come to the wire. Yep. And my concern is if this comes to the wire and one side's not budging and they are over here with their egos, we might find ourselves in a situation where we pass that pivotal moment where we run out of money. Just depends on how long it takes for them to pass the bill. We've gotten past that moment before. This wouldn't be the first time in history that we don't raise a debt ceiling and then all of a sudden government services start shutting down. But at what point do you start missing payments on your interest on your treasury bills and what we borrowed?
That would be catastrophic. It would.
It wouldn't take too long. I think it's less than a month. So, we can get to a point where, hey, the debt ceiling doesn't get raised. We start shutting down services. If it isn't addressed within 3-4 weeks, that's when the catastrophes start.
Flat Smack has his tinfoil hat on, said the ceiling is already raised. They're just pretending like it's a debate. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, but, Also, guys, if you're new here, please say hello. We want to personally welcome you to our community, the Sinner community. Now, Robin, the term Wholecoiners? Well, we just crossed 1 million. Now, I understand, and I want to share this with you. It's from Crypto Potato. Bitcoin Wholecoiners reached all-time high above 1 million. So there are currently 1 million wallet addresses that hold 1 Bitcoin or more. So these are termed Wholecoiners. And I understand that it doesn't mean there's 1 million people who own 1 Bitcoin because some people diversify. They have multiple wallets. What percentage of that? And I was watching George from Cryptos R Us this morning, and he seems to think It's about 20 to 30%. So about 200 to 300,000 people who own one Bitcoin. What do you think the ratio is if we were just to speculate here? And how important is, how much weight do you put on a metric like this? And this is compliments of Glassnode, by the way.
I don't know. I don't really have a stance on it. I just find it interesting that I don't know if we'll ever get to 2 million. And I'm just kind of thinking to myself, because obviously,
why? What's your reasening behind that?
There's only 21 million. It's estimated that somewhere between 20 and 40% will be lost throughout, by the time they're all
20 to 40%.
20% is a number I've heard routinely.
Okay.
40% could be as high as 40%. I know it's not, but I'm talking about like later on down the road. And let me see if I can find something that says estimated loss of Bitcoin.
Interesting.
So anyways, let's just say it's 20% will be lost. So nearly 4 million Bitcoin are estimated to be lost forever. So 4 million, that is
about 25%.
Yeah. And so if you're to look out maybe 10 years, maybe a handful of people die, people lose stuff, who knows? Things
20%, my apologies.
20%, 10%, yeah. So 20%.
20%.
So at 20%, you're only gonna have 18 million Bitcoin? And then it's pretty diversified, right? You got to think about all the little Bitcoins that are out there, the Satoshis that are the change. And so I don't think there'll ever be 2 million Wholecoiners. I don't.
I want to bring up that Alex81 commented or put in the chat, said percentage of Bitcoin getting more distributed with smaller holders increasing and large holders decreasing is bearish. Means retail is buying the whale's bags. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
You do agree that it's so you're saying it's a negative that Bitcoin is being more dispersed amongst retail versus just large whales holding Bitcoin. You think that's bearish? That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Here's the thing. I don't put much into these wallets, man. And we talked about it last week. I don't put much into it. I think whether an exchange has this wallet, and there's 1,000 wallets, there's shrimp wallets. For me, I think it's pointless. It's pointless just because the numbers are so murky. Because how many Bitcoin wallets do you have? I mean, think about all, like how many different MetaMask wallets. I know MetaMask is Etherscan, Ethereum, but just think about all the different places that you might have a little bit of Bitcoin sitting in. And so me personally, I have at least 5 different accounts that have fractions of Bitcoin in it. And so you could count all 5 of those as a shrimp wallet. You can count those as 5 accounts. You can count every corporate or every whale that has Bitcoin who doesn't keep it all in one wallet. All of a sudden, they're 3 whales. And I just don't. I think it's just a cute way to dress up your narrative. And so if you're saying, hey, the price is going to dump, look at all these wallets that are moving onto exchanges, or look at all these tokens that are over here. At the end of the day, it can give you information. I'm not saying it's irrelevant, but to drive home big overarching narratives because of wallet movement, I think doesn't represent what's happening in the network. I really don't. And so that's why my answers are short, because I don't hold a lot of faith into these driving a big narrative. I don't think that Bitcoin's going to rally because some wallets are doing something. I don't think Bitcoin's going to dump off because some wallets are doing X, Y, and Z. I think what happens is big narratives, FUD, things that are partnerships, liquidity, leverage. Those are the things that move the market, not where your Bitcoin is sitting at and how many wallets there is. Like, that's just my personal opinion, man.
You brought up shrimp wallet and this wallet. Well, these are the correct terms, Robin. Bitcoin ranking holders. So less than 1 Bitcoin is shrimps. And you have the crabs. Octopus is 10 to 50 Bitcoin. Fish is 50 to 100 Bitcoin. Dolphins, 100 to 500. Shark, whale, and of course, the mega whales are the humpback whales. So something to keep an eye on, guys. Study this. Put it in your back pocket. Print it out. Put it in your wallet. So it's important to know. All right, let's move into some the biggest news. So we're starting here. The title of our show today, the thumbnail, Binance says goodbye to Canada. They are leaving, deciding regulatory issues related to stable coins and investor limits. The world's largest crypto exchange by volume says that it's leaving Canada due to issues with the nation's regulations on stablecoin and investor limits. According to Binance, Canada's new regulatory measures that seek to protect investors render its marketplace no longer tenable. Says a quote from Binance. Unfortunately, new guidance related to stablecoins and investor limits provided to crypto exchanges makes the Canada market no longer tenable for Binance at this time. We put off this decision as long as we could to explore other reasonable avenues to protect our Canadian users, but has become apparent that there are none. In February, the Canadian Securities Administration created new guidelines indicating that the regulatory body may view stablecoins as securities and or derivatives. I don't get that. I don't understand how a stablecoin is a security. Like, I get it. You make yield on it, right? How is it a security, though? It's $1. It's $1.
But it represents... so security is a share or a representation of
an investment contract.
And
how is a stable coin an investment contract?
I'm just saying it does fit the box for what the SEC says a security is. I mean, here's the thing: like, you can buy, treasuries or securities.
Yeah, I get that.
And those are money, you know what I mean? Like, that's dollars. You're just buying dollars in a form that isn't a fiat currency in the tangible form. And I don't agree with it, but I'm just saying that in context, they can wrap their little parameters around it. I think it is more likened to a security than a lot of these layer ones. I mean, because at the end of the day, there's not really much utility to it, right? Actually, there's zero utility.
For stable coins?
Yeah, I mean...
Payment?
No, what I'm saying, but the physical token doesn't have utility. And so in the same way that, like, hey, you're not staking your tether to make decisions on the network. You're not using your tether. I mean, I guess you could use it for gas fees, yeah. I guess that's utility. I don't know. Real quick though, where is the likes? But I have found $20.
Where?
From Big Swole. So he says, you guys are awesome. Best channel in crypto. Keep up the good work, guys.
Big Swole was in our studio.
Yeah, man.
Super
Big
cool.
fan. Eh?
The Vegas local serves in our military. So thank you for your service, my friend. And to all of you that serve in our military or have served or have family, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And but I grew up in a military town. My dad is retired Navy, 20 years. And so, thank you, man. And I know firsthand the sacrifices you've had. My dad was always out on deployment. And it was, it's a hard life, to raise a family in the military, man, because you don't get to go to all the soccer practices, so, there's a lot of sacrifices in every direction. Yeah. So big shout out. And also a big shout out to our moms as well. Yesterday was Mother's Day. Yeah. So to those moms out there, hopefully you had a good Mother's Day, and much love to all of y'all,
What'd you do for your mom?
I'm still getting over that cold, and so I didn't want, my mom's not the strongest.
You swerved your mom on Mother's Day, bro?
Yeah. Well, I called her. I talked to her on the phone for a while. I didn't go over there. I'm always a little extra cautious. I didn't want to get her sick, so there you go. But I don't mind getting you sick, David. Well, that's why I'm here. So, there you go.
Wow, thank you so much.
And then if you're new here, say hello so we can drop an hola back at you. We got A. Gaza. We also have Ty Sanders, Raul San Miguel, who has been here before. And then I saw somebody else new here earlier.
Lazarus Hand.
He's been here before. Julio as well. I think he's been here as well. And Magic Internet Money's hanging out, watching the show.
What's up, Magic? We need to get Magic back on the
Magic
show.
going? Magic, you going to Bitcoin Miami?
I don't think so.
And if you're going to be at Bitcoin Miami, let me know. We're going to link up. Send us a DM on Twitter.
Rob will buy you dinner at the most expensive steakhouse in South Beach, right, Rob?
Taco cart. Cubans. The Cuban cart, bro. Oh,
man, last year Miami was so much fun.
You know what? If I only meet up with one person, sure, it's on me. But if I got more than one person, I got to pick it up the tab. We're going to the taco cart.
Why are you cheap, bro? Oh, cheap. Guys, I'm sorry. If I was there, I'd probably do the same thing. Now, we do have, so we have Canada leaving, Binance leaving Canada. We have this tweet. Yeah, Canada leaving Binance.
Canada is leaving. Ladies and gentlemen, they are packing up their maple syrup and they are out of here. They are mad. They're not doing good.
No more syrup for you.
They're down in hockey.
By the way,
and so
real Canadian maple syrup is fire. HP sent us some. That was really good. Mm-hmm. Speaking of hockey, the Golden Knights are off to the Western Conference Finals. So are the Lakers. Anyway, let's get back to crypto.
Hey, I was thinking about going to the Miami Heat playoff game.
Yeah, think again. Now, I want you to think about crypto here for a second, Rob. We have Binance leaving Canada. We have the U.S. government vowing to crack down on crypto exchanges. What the hell is happening in North America? Is this going to harm... When you have the largest exchange when it comes to liquidity, leaving an entire country, how can in the same breath the regulators say we care about investor protection and then essentially push some of these large companies out of the country?
My question is, I didn't hear anything you said because I'm reading this headline here and it says just in. This is not just in. This has been happening since 2022.
New statement.
It's been a year and a half. The government vows to crack down on cryptocurrency. This is not just in. This is not breaking news. Radar. Should have been on your radar.
Someone made a comment probably, okay, or a press conference saying we're going to, I know what it was. Here, I actually have the article. Here we go. U.S. Department of Justice Crypto Enforcement Director promises crackdown on illicit behavior on exchanges. So now the DOJ is getting involved. Guys, remember this, okay? Remember the people that are in office right now, the senators, their representatives, the president. Remember these people and what they're trying to do to the space that you're trying to make money in, that you're invested in, that you are trying to change the financial world in. And remember what they're doing, and remember that next time you go and vote, if you're here in the U.S. Yoon Young Choi said the DOJ is targeting crypto exchanges that allow criminal actors to easily profit from their crimes and cash out. Promised to crack down on trading platforms. She added that the department's focus is on businesses that sidestep AML or KYC or who do not engage in thorough compliance and risk mitigation. The NSED also aims to bring more enforcement actions against investment scams. They announced last month busting around $112 million from 6 scams. The FBI has estimated that $3.3 billion was stolen from people through investment fraud in 2022, with crypto-related scams accounting for over $2.5 billion. So there's what that is referring to. So it seems like North America has come together and said, we don't want crypto, go somewhere else. But what little do they know is if they push crypto out of North America, crypto's not going to die. You're not going to kill crypto, okay? You're just going to put yourself in the back seat. Canada, go in the back. US, go in the way, way back. And these other countries are going to harness the technology of crypto and the innovation and what it can do for their country, for the infrastructure, for everything, for the people, for their people. And we're going to be here sitting on our butts, left behind, looking across the pond and saying, wow, look how, wow, El Salvador just paid all their debt off. Wow, El Salvador had enough money to build this. Wow, the people of El Salvador are really thriving. wow, what are we doing here? Oh, nothing. We're bailing out another bank. Robin, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think this has been happening the whole time. It's just now they're publicly addressing it, right? Because remember the what is it?
It's been happening behind closed doors.
Yeah,
now
yeah,
they're not trying to hide it.
Yeah, exactly. I think the choke point 2.0,
That's real.
It's real, but it's not real in as a proposed, being proposed from the government, right? The government's never came out and said.
Of course they're not going to come out and
exactly,
say it.
but now they are. That's what I'm saying. Now they are. And I just think that the narrative is changing because during the run-up of the bull market, people are being a little bit more vocal and supportive of crypto. And now that we've had the spill-off or the bear market, we're getting into, hey, now people are being more vocal about their disdain for crypto. And they're pointing the finger. A lot of times when something is broken, they don't want to address the reason it broke. They want to point the finger at something that has nothing to do with it.
Of course.
And so, hey, the banks went down. Crypto's fault. No, it's not crypto's fault. It is not.
If anything, the bank going down harmed crypto.
Dude.
USDC depeg.
What happened?
USDC depeg because SVB wanted to.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. There's a Flat Smack over here. We're talking about moms. And Flat Smack earlier said, my mom hit me with a wooden spoon.
Oh, I used to get... You know what I used to get? I used to get the buckle side of the belt.
Buckle. You man.
That hurt.
There it is.
Who was that?
That's mom's.
That's Flat Smack's mom?
No, it's not Flat Smack.
Just a regular mom?
Just a regular mom with a spoon. Tell you, man, that was... hey, you don't want to mess around with a spoon, man. The thing is, you can do some damage with a spoon. I'd rather get a hand than a spoon.
Well,
but they would always try to get an instrument that makes it seem like it's okay punishment, but it's not. Like think about it. Like, are you gonna beat your kid with a fly swatter and be like, well, it's plastic. Bam, bam. like, stop. It's not okay. Don't hit your kids with a spoon. Don't hit them with a belt. Don't hit them with a fly swatter. Just saying, man.
So you don't believe in spanking?
People are getting. What I'm saying is that
did you ever spank your kids?
When they were little, but the thing was, and it wasn't anything like over the top, but just a little butt spanking. But that you see, now that they're older, I can have a conversation. But I did the spanking when they were when we couldn't have that full conversation.
When they were newborns?
See, yeah, not newborns, but like toddlers. No, here's the thing,
It came out of the
no. My kid's trying to put a knife in the outlet, and I'm and I grab a hand, and I smack the top of the hand. And I'm like, because I can't have that conversation on why it's dangerous. So I need their brain to realize, hey, don't put the damn knife in the socket, otherwise my hand's gonna hurt. And so that's my premise. But now, once you're old enough to have a conversation, you don't need to be breaking out no spoons or spatulas or
I spanked my son 2 days ago.
Have a conversation.
Just trust me.
Yeah, sit him down and be like,
hundreds of times. He just doesn't listen.
Look,
so I have to
message to Davis kids. If you feel you're cornered and you are not safe, you can call Big Rob. Just pick up David's phone, scroll down, Big Rob, give me a call. I'll come pick you up.
Shut up, bro. You idiot, weirdo. No, I've only spanked my kids on the butt, and it's after multiple times of trying to explain to them, they don't listen. I refuse to have spoiled children or children with no manners. I refuse. I'm sorry. That's just how I was raised. That's how I'm going to raise my kids.
You see, I got a gift. It's persuasion and conversation. And I can have a good conversation. I can make you rethink your thought. I can make you rethink. I don't need to break down the hand. I just need to break out the thoughts. Be like,
wow, okay, yeah, sure. Okay, try that with a freaking 10, 11-year-old. Good luck. Now, speaking of luck, unlucky for BlockFi people.
It's an interesting show today.
Yeah, man. We're having some fun. It's Monday. That's what makes our show different is, Anyways, BlockFi looks to liquidate lending business after unsuccessful sales attempt. So a couple things I've highlighted here. BlockFi plans to liquidate its lending platform and distribute funds to creditors according to a bankruptcy court filing. The expected move follows an unsuccessful effort to generate funds to repay creditors by selling the platform. Given the recent regulatory developments, among other things, there may be a lack of meaningful value to be generated from a sale. Now, Robin, we've seen multiple times this term regulatory uncertainty. Do you think that these crypto companies are leaning too much on this? And I want to be careful, call it an excuse, because I think it's actually happening, but I'm playing devil's advocate here. Are they using this excuse too much, or are they leaning on it too much versus taking some, maybe BlockFi's, maybe their paperwork wasn't good, maybe their fund, I don't know, maybe there's something hiding in the balance sheet that people are like, I don't know, and they come out and say, hey, it's due to regulatory developments. Or is this actually literally what is happening? It's so uncertain here in the US and places like Canada that people are refusing to spend money to buy assets. We saw Binance back out. Now we're seeing this. Where do you fall?
I don't know. I think we're still in the middle of the shakeout, right? I mean, you're shaking out exchanges. Exchanges are closing. And remember, regulation moves slowly. And so the exodus of Binance from Canada, the BlockFi situation, it's all indicative of what is happening here in the cycle of crypto. And that right now, nobody trusts crypto, man. I know the sentiment is we've gotten far enough away from the FTX collapse that people feel better getting into Bitcoin, but it doesn't change the fact that there's economic uncertainty, banking uncertainty, regulatory uncertainty. You have former companies that are looking to liquidate their assets, Voyager, BlockFi, and they're having a hard time doing so because, I mean, what was the last one that tried to get bought up? Binance, they scrapped the deal on Voyager. Before that, it was FTX. They scrapped that deal. Then you got FTX trying to relaunch their exchange. They kind of scrapped that.
I really think it's happening, bro. And then, I honestly do. I really think it's going to happen. I'm not saying I agree with it.
I'm like 50-50 on that. I think that
of you wanting it to happen, or you
no,
think
of it's going to happen. And I think they're going to run into a lot of regulatory roadblocks, and I think that, like, for example, this is being the bankruptcy is being done by U.S. lawyers, right? What was it? John Ray? What is his name?
John J. Ray.
John J. Ray. So he works for the United States government, right? And so, do you think that the government is going to evaluate him and say, "Hey, we give you the green light to reopen"? Because I mean, that's the thing, and I think that there's so much.
He doesn't work for the U.S. government. He's representing the creditors.
Yeah, he represented the creditors, but he went and testified in front of Congress, and so, anyways, he is an integral part of the regulation side, and I just don't know if they will get the support from the regulators, from Congress, to get a green light to reopen that exchange. And I think that enough people will beat the drum and be like, hey, we can't, this is fraud, whatever. Like, but you know what? Companies will be companies. They'll try to make money. It's easier to sell their assets and then go to bankruptcy court and try to liquidate. And
I want to know what the chat thinks. Do you think FTX will come back? FTX 2.0, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Let us know what you think. Also, we had a $2 super chat from Crick Cats. Said hit the like button before Rob spanks you with the sign. Where are we on our like metrics there, Robin? Give us an update, please.
We are currently at, I can't ever see how many we have exactly. I know we're at 100 or something.
130.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get like 1 and then dots afterwards.
Wow. Maybe you need to get some glasses. Now, I do want to move on to another exchange that went under a long time ago, Quadriga CX. 5 years after the CEO's sudden death, which I don't think he's dead, victims of Quadriga CX collapsed to receive 13% of their lost funds. Let me know in the chat, have any of you, or do you know anyone that had any money on Quadriga CX? I know this was massive in Canada. If you're not familiar with the story, suddenly the owner died in an accident, and he was the only one that had the keys to all the assets.
Yeah, which is like, I guess those are some that were recovered, because I know there's still a ton. And the thing is they're giving him the 2019 price when it closed. I don't know if it's listed there, but the 2019 price, obviously bear market of, before the bull run. So your assets are really low. That's when Cardano was 5 cents, Yeah. And that's when your Ethereum was, less than $800. I think it was like somewhere around 500 around that. It depends on what time frame in 2019, but yeah.
Nifty guy said, got out just in time. That's good. Said the following year, after 2018, when Gerald William Cotton unexpectedly died, Quadriga FinTech Solutions, which is the owner of the exchange, filed for bankruptcy with investors unable to withdraw their funds. To date, there are over 17,600 claims against the firm worth $233 million. In its May 12th notice to creditors, Ernst & Young, which is a law firm, announces an interim dividend that will enable victims of the exchange to receive around 13% of their claims minus some deductions. 13%. This is why, guys, it's so important to custody your own freaking coins. Don't be lazy and leave them on exchanges, okay? If you're not comfortable keeping a seed phrase, just get a mobile wallet. And I know you have to have a seed phrase for that too, but I'm just saying, if you're not or diversify, but don't hold massive amounts of money on exchanges, because you never know what can happen. You never know what can happen. Now, on to some interesting news. LG Electronics pursues patent for TV with built-in NFT trading features. That's kind of interesting. LG Electronics filing for a blockchain-based smart TV was recently published by the World Intellectual Property Organization. Now, I do want to mention the company did apply for the patent back in 2021. So now they're looking to get it. The sole aim of the latest invention is to support NFT trading on LG smart TVs. Users can connect their crypto wallet and an NFT market server to trade NFTs directly from their TV. An on-screen QR code will guide the transaction through the crypto wallet. It will launch, with the launch, smart TVs running on the WebOS 5.0 and later could seamlessly trade digital artworks on their TVs. I do want to also mention that LG did launch their own crypto wallet called Wallipto, which was the dumbest name in the history of wallets, which will facilitate transactions on the NFT marketplace. So, Robin, is this intriguing to you, or is this just not necessary?
Yeah, man. I'm trying to pull up my NFT right now. My bad. What's up, bro?
Sorry, I got my Wallipto
Hold on.
running away.
Yeah.
I left the door
I'm trying to
open.
work on my Wallito here. So
Wallito just ran away.
So,
Let me call the shelter.
where the hell is that JPEG at?
Call the shelter.
So
Wallito.
where's I lost my Wallito.
You were muted the whole time, so be like, why is he laughing so hard, dog?
Great name.
Yeah, you're missing the P in there.
Wallito. Well, with the accent. Wallito.
Wallito.
Who the hell is gonna buy NFT on a TV, man? Stop it right now! Like LG, that is about as practical as the television on the refrigerator. Nobody is standing in the kitchen watching TV.
Hey, those TV fridges are awesome, man.
They are not awesome.
Yeah, they are. You've never been in front of your fridge looking at, well, maybe snacks will appear and then you just watch your favorite TV show on there?
What was the name of the fridge? Frigilito?
Frigilito. You know you're muted, right, Rocco? Okay.
He said, what's the fridge's name? Frigilito? Oh man. So
Yeah, no, the thing is the commercials, they always show the lady. She's like, oh, let me pull up a recipe. And then they pull up the recipe there and like, oh, 5 eggs. Like, that does not work like that. It does not work like that. You're over here typing on the refrigerator. Next thing you know, the mustard falls out of the door. And you're like, oh, I don't have this ingredient.
So you're not bullish on this?
Stupid, man. You know what? How about this? Just do what Twitter does and let you put your profile picture as your NFT and have it verified. And yeah, and then maybe as a screensaver. Sure, that makes sense. But yeah, to sit here and do your Walito and Walito.
You can buy an NFT.
Northwest Crypto said, I'm watching the show on my fridge right now. So.
I just bought my new NFT in my blender.
My blender.
In the Ninja.
The Ninjito. Ninjalito.
Ninjalito, huh?
Oh, God. Okay. Here's something that might be a little more interesting to you. Worldcoin crypto project. Now, this has been around for a while, but it's
Is
never
that the one that took a picture of your eyeball?
No, that's iCoin. Actually, I don't know. I think it is, actually.
I'm pretty sure it's WorldCoin. Let me
now,
look it up.
This thing has been around for a while, but it never got, like the press it's getting. And the reason it is because OpenAI popped off. And well, guess what? The same person who did OpenAI is the one behind WorldCoin. It's Sam Altman. They're targeting $100 million in funding for this project. OpenAI CEO
It is WorldCoin with the freaking orb. And then it scans your eyeball and gives you money.
Yeah. Now,
like if that doesn't scream like Terminator takeover, I don't know.
We're already there, bro.
I got to find you a video of this thing. Have you seen a video of it? I'm sorry. I know I've been interrupting you.
You find the video. I'll read the article. Okay. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is reported to be in advanced talks to raise $100 million for his crypto venture, WorldCoin. Right. Launched on Monday, World App, which is a crypto wallet of the WorldCoin ecosystem, can be used to authenticate identity with World ID. And it can be used to send and receive WorldCoin as well as other digital assets. World ID is a digital passport that allows users to prove their identity as a unique person without sacrificing their anonymity by divulging too much personal information. If I am not mistaken, doesn't this already exist? Zero knowledge proofs?
Yeah.
Via identity?
Yep.
Mina's doing it. Polygon's doing it.
I think everyone's gonna integrate these. They're just gonna dub it their own thing to make it seem like it's proprietary, right?
Now, the ultimate goal of the WorldCoin project is to bring the kind of biometric verification standards that are common with banking apps, for example, to the world of crypto. Wow, what could go wrong? The company has developed a biometric imaging device known as the Orb. But the Orb doesn't link biometric profiles to other identifying factors as is done in traditional finance. Instead, it is simply a means of verifying humanness. Whatever happened to the whole CAPTCHA thing, right? Here, click here. Which ones are crosswalks and chimneys? Click all the bikes that Joe Biden fell off of. That verifies you're human. Now we need to scan our eyeballs and give a blood sample to verify our blood type and all the other stuff to verify that we're humans. The data it captures is then recorded on the Polygon network, but it isn't aligned with other identifiers such as a user's name.
Let me tell you, when you Google WorldCoin and scan eyeballs, it likes to give you search results for World Guinness eyeball popping out contests or whatever. No, it's disgusting.
Okay.
So it's like the people that can pop the eyeballs as far out of their head as possible. It's like I guess that's like an achievement if you can clear 80% of your eyeball out of your socket.
That's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, I'm done searching.
You didn't find the video?
No, I told you it's all friggin' eyeball popping world.
But WorldCoin Orb.
I did.
You didn't? Okay.
And all I get is the Coin Bureau one.
But Robin, does this kind of make sense, right? With the AI trend, we know who's behind this project, the Sam Altman, the guy who did OpenAI, the ChatGPT. Like, Is it gonna like? Are we going to a place where you just scan your eyeball and all the information is going to be there? Your seed phrases, your medical history. I mean,
it's the same idea behind that microchip or like the barcode on your neck. It's the same idea, and we're like, I'll never get a barcode on the back of my neck. But this scanning the eye thing, it's already here. Just open up your iPhone. You can't do it with your eyes closed.
You can't?
No, you haven't tried this before?
I have not.
But in the movie when they say that, have you watched the movie with any?
And you can do it with one eye too. You can open up one eye and it'll pop open.
But I think that, what it is. I think that in the movie, you see that sometimes the bad actor take the eye, so the bad guy put on the things, open the doors. Mm-hmm. If the eye is not alive, it won't work. I think what it is.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you put it in a jar with a little bit of pickle juice, I'm telling you,
it
has all the characteristics of an alive eyeball. So the thing is it's already here. They're just promoting it as kind of gimmicky, right? Like they're promoting it like it's some new eyeball scanning technology, but it's already here. We're already interacting with this already. And the fact that this is just becoming more normal. And so the video I was trying to find is that they were going to impoverished areas, and they're like, hey, we'll give you some crypto if you let us scan your eyeball. And they were going for it. They're like, okay, so all I got to do is look at this shiny orb here and just stand here with my eyes open, and you're going to send me money? They're like, yeah. And that whole thing just sounds sus to me, man. Am I on the island with this? Doesn't that sound sus?
100%.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of that. I don't know. Hey, guys. I want to know what the chat thinks. If I offered you $100 to scan your eyeball with a shiny orb that looks like the 8-ball, and I said, hey, nothing bad's going to happen here. I'm just going to give you $100 and take some information away. Would you do it?
Take some information away.
That's what they're doing. They're collecting data and they're walking away with it, and they're giving you, they're giving you some money. And so for a impoverished society, they're taking it, man. People need bread. And so would you do it? Put a 1 in the chat if you would take $100 for an eyeball scan from Big Rob. Put a 2 in the chat if you leave my eyes out of this.
All right, Rob, I think we're done.
We're done?
Yeah.
Is it?
That's it.
I feel like we dropped the ball on or the orb on this show today. As far as the content,
pun intended.
We do have we got a little treat for you guys.
Yeah. We do?
Yeah, we got a new make sure you stay tuned for the full outro, because we're sprinkling in something new thanks to one of our buddies. All right, so we got number 2s in the chat.
What's the 1s and 2s again?
You wouldn't take $100 for a little eyeball scan, huh?
Nope. The hell?
I'm surprised. I thought somebody would be like, you know what?
Bro, $100 isn't even a lot of money.
Yeah, $100 that can get you like what, a bag of flour, some bacon, and
they can scan your eyeball with your fridge. Yeah, the same fridge, the wallet fridge.
Question.
Answer.
Do we have a sponsor?
No. JK, we do have a sponsor. Today is opposite day. Cam's Blue Wire Technology. Today's show is brought to you by them. Big shout out to our sponsor. Make sure to go check out their website, bluewiretech.com, or click the link in the description of this video. Speaking of links, there's tons of links. If you want to support this channel, feel free to do so. Also, feel free to follow us on all social medias. We're on Twitter, Instagram, TikToks, TikTokalito. Also, go check out our merchandise store, Alito. If you're a whale member, you get 10% off. There's a bunch of new stuff on there.
Mm-hmm.
And big shout out to Cassius Cuvée. We'll leave it at that. Peace.
Yeah.
Cassius Cuvée, big shout out. With that being said, Rocco. Going in from the under, coming in from the... Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It was a pleasure to serve you. I'm going to stop talking. Enjoy the music.
Sin City, crypto, everybody know we here for entertainment and info, gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in, for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in then you win, we divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David, I spit the game but they gave it. Named according to your favorite, I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners, special shout out to the well members. Buy the dip, sell winners, ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors, they gonna teach us mean coins, they polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin, laggers we trade them in, baddies they came to sin, and sinners gon' play to win, screaming hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya, to the moon and to the solar, won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya, it's over, when the finger tornado close ya.